She didn't scream when her tires popped. She just stood there in her polished heels, staring at the jagged metal spikes poking from the dirt, then at me on my porch, sipping coffee. My goats froze, and even the cows stopped chewing to watch the drama unfold. I'd been waiting for this moment, and it felt like justice. But this wasn't just about a popped tire, it was about a battle over land, pride, and power. It started with ruts in my pasture. At first, I thought it was the delivery guy taking a shortcut, as he'd done before, blaming his GPS. But the tracks kept appearing, deep and deliberate, tearing up the grass and spooking my animals. My oldest goat, Daisy, refused to graze near the tree line, her ears twitching nervously. I knew something was wrong. One morning, just after dawn, I was feeding the livestock when I heard tires crunching gravel. A sleek black SUV barreled through my wooden gate like it owned the place, rolling across my pasture and nearly clipping a calf. I waved my arms, bucket of feed in hand, as the driver slammed the brakes. The window rolled down, revealing a woman in sunglasses and a crisp blazer, Laura, the HOA president from the nearby subdivision. She looked at me like I was the intruder. "Can I help you?" I asked, keeping my voice calm. Laura smirked, leaning out. "Just taking the shortcut. Been doing it for weeks." She flashed a satellite map on her phone, pointing to her house and my pasture. "This is the fastest way to the exit gate. Why go around?" I explained it was private property, with livestock and clear signs. She laughed, waved me off, and drove on, her tires spitting dirt. That night, I chained the gate and put up a sign. Private property. No through traffic. By morning, the chain was cut, the sign broken, and fresh tire tracks scarred my land. This wasn't a mistake, it was defiance. Neighbors started noticing. One old rancher, Chuck, chuckled. "That's Laura. Thinks she owns the county." He told me she'd been pushing for more HOA access points, claiming my pasture as her road. I called the sheriff, who confirmed it was trespassing but said charges were tough without direct harm. He suggested a formal letter and evidence. I thanked him, but I knew Laura wouldn't care about paperwork. Each morning, she drove through again, sometimes waving like we were friends. My goats scattered, and once, a calf limped after a close call. I'd had enough. I consulted a friend, a property rights expert, who confirmed Laura had no legal claim, no easement, no right-of-way. I sent a certified letter, which she ignored. So, I got strategic. I hid trail cameras and bird feeders, recording her every move. I studied her route, the dip by the creek, the rise near the barn. Then I found my weapon, an old box of spike strips from my grandpa's days, used to stop wild hogs. Sharp, simple, effective. I buried them under the dirt on her usual path, smoothing the surface to look natural. Then I waited, coffee in hand, Daisy grazing nearby. When Laura's SUV roared through, the pop was deafening. Her tires hissed, the vehicle skidded, and she stumbled out, staring at the damage. I raised my mug in a silent toast. Daisy bleated. It was perfect. But Laura didn't quit. She rallied her HOA allies, staging a protest outside my gate with signs like, "Open access for all." They sipped iced tea and let their dogs bark at my cows. I didn't argue. Instead, I placed a laminated county map on a table by the gate, showing my clear boundaries. Laura scoffed, claiming her husband was talking to the city. I knew she was bluffing. I added more cameras and motion sensor floodlights. Then I got creative, moving hay bales and an old tractor to block her new routes. One evening, my camera caught her SUV skidding to a stop by the tractor, Laura pacing in her heels, defeated. She backed off, but I saw her later, snapping photos of my fences and signs, building a case. The tension grew. Laura sent a cease and desist letter, accusing me of pasture sabotage and emotional distress. My lawyer friend, Tom, laughed it off, saying it had no legal weight. We sent a formal response, backed by my evidence. Then Laura escalated. She forged a request to clear an emergency access, path through my land. The contractor, suspicious, tipped me off. Furious, I filed a report with the sheriff. Laura's shouting echoed through the neighborhood that night. The HOA turned on her. At a packed meeting, a board member, Sarah, challenged Laura's actions, citing the viral news story about our feud. Laura was voted out as president, replaced by Sarah, who sent me an apology note. But Laura wasn't done. Someone, likely her, scattered nails and glass near my gate. My cameras caught a blurry figure, too small to be Laura, but her intent was clear. I cleaned it up, added a stronger gate, and set up a produce stand with a sign, "Free to good neighbors." The community loved it, and my land became a symbol of resilience. Then came the lawsuit. Laura sued for tire damages, distress, and more. In court, her lawyer fumbled with outdated maps, while Tom presented my binder of evidence, videos, letters, surveys. The judge dismissed Laura's case, ordering her to pay my costs and damages. Laura sat stunned, her confidence shattered. Days later, her appeal was rejected, and the HOA banned her from the board entirely. A "for sale" sign appeared at Laura's house. Rumors said she was fleeing to the city, tired of classless neighbors. One morning, a note arrived unsigned, with a photo of her damaged SUV on a tow truck. It admitted her pride had cost her but offered no apology. I tucked it away, not for sentiment, but as proof the fight was over. The pasture healed. Daisy lounged by the oak again, and the grass grew thick. I fixed fences, built a keypad gate, and expanded the produce stand. Neighbors stopped by, sharing stories of Laura's antics. One woman said her grandma called me the Pasture Knight. I laughed, but it stuck. The community felt closer, united by Laura's chaos. I know trouble will come again, another dispute, another loud neighbor. But I'm ready. My land taught me patience, strategy, and the power of standing firm. As I sip coffee on my porch, watching the sunset, I feel the calm of a battle won, not with fists, but with quiet resolve. What do you think? Was I too harsh with the spikes, or was Laura's arrogance the real problem? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and share your take on handling boundary disputes. Let's get this debate going. Your opinion could spark the next viral discussion.